Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're gonna have a look at RNP approaches in the Dash 8 Q400. The test approach we're gonna use is runway 18 at the Stavanger Sola Airport in Norway on the west coast. We can bring it up. As you can see, it's a pretty easy approach into runway 18, final approach course 177. And platform altitude at NEPMO 1,500 feet. We are inbound to Gogut on the west side right now, and we're cruising at flight level 120. We have a couple of minutes left until our top of descent. So we're gonna do two things in this video. We're gonna do the automatic arming and intercepting of the RNP. And in the second part, we are going to do vectors to final. And as we will see with the vectors, we're not going to use the heading bug as a primary mode to do that, but rather the FMS and a function called command heading. So let's just zoom ahead and get closer to top of descent. And I'll walk you through how this works and what we need to do. So we are getting closer. It's 4 minutes to our top of descent. And in preparation for that, we'll do our briefing and set up our speeds. We'll do that automatically here. And having a look at flight plan, bringing up Navigraph as well. We can see we're inbound Gogut on the west side, max 220, 2,500 feet. Next point is Ranab, and that's max 210, 2,000 feet. Inbound after Ranab we have, let's see, NEPMO is the final approach fix at 1,005, and then it's the runway at 60 feet. Chart says runway 10 feet elevation. MSA is 4008, in case of mist, straight ahead to UFUF. And we have UFUF here as well, with a holding at 3,000 feet. Our minima is 220 MDA. 220 is set. And we'll do flap 15 landing with condition levers max. Conditions today is actually 850 landing conditions, but as I've mentioned previously, I think this add-on behaves much better with condition levers max as it stands right now with the way the props and engines are modeled. So top of descent is closing in here. 2 minutes, and let's say the approach just gave us a descent. 6,000 feet can be our first descent. 6,000 feet set, altitude select, and current weather at the Sola is QNH 1019er. Let's see, it's not in nav here. Let's do direct Gogut again, and not sure, maybe I pressed it. Weather variable 1 knot, have OK, 2 degrees, 1019er, no significant change. I've entered a static weather today, just to keep conditions similar. There we have the message for top of descent. And we'll keep, let me just sync the right side as well. We'll keep it in nav down here. And what you'll see is when we get to 30 miles from the airport, we're gonna get blue text here signifying that FMSs have armed the approach. And that's a call we have in the cockpit as well. When that pops up, just pilot monitor says RNP approach armed. And when it changes later on, when you're intercepting what would in an ILS be the localizer glide path, the same thing happens on an RNP approach as well. You will intercept the final approach course and the glide path. Then you will call that the approach is active. We'll have a look at that. This is slowly creeping on. I'm gonna select vertical speed -500 and arm the VNAV. Let's get pumps on while we remember it. And we're close to 10. I'm just gonna put the lights on as well, so we can just focus on the approach. Right here you can see approach armed, so that's 30 miles from the airport. We can verify this if we tune 11685. As you can see, the DME is 29 miles now. VNAV path. And the screen is now reflecting what we saw on the map. Let's keep the speed down to 240 so we don't overspeed at 8,500. And we can zoom in a bit on the displays. And we'll do 2,000 feet. Altitude select. We can do a quick approach checklist as well. Approach briefing complete. VREF is 114, target about 125, and altimeters is 1013. Checklist complete. Bumps and lights are on. So with this automatic arming of the approach, everything kind of happens by itself now. As long as you're on a decent path, decent speed, you keep up with altitude constraints, and that's your job, not FMS's. Then you'll just continue down the path and it will sort itself out. Flying an RNP approach in the Dash 8 is very simple. It's very automated. It's less button pressing than an ILS, and that's what we are using most of the time if we can. One time where you might switch to another approach is if the airport you're flying into has lower minimums on an ILS, for example. So for a Cat 2 approach, you're often limited to doing ILS. But for normal operations, this is very, very easy and a very smooth way to fly. So we are clear 2000 RNAV and speed is max 220 here, 210 at RNAVs. We'll continue slowing down, bring the heading bug around. Always keep the heading bug pointed in the direction you're going. You never know when you have to pop out of nav mode, and or if nav mode for some reason should fail, you have heading as a reversion you can go back to. And soon, yeah, it's turning inbound. We get the scale change on the FMS, same as in real life, and you're gonna get the kind of, or what mode, what type of RNP approach you are flying. So now it's an RNAV Zulu to runway 18. We would call approach active, turn the altitude select off, and set your minimum or go around altitude. In this case it's 3000 feet. 3000 feet set, not altitude select now. You can see we're 7 miles out. Okay. Terrain bug in the Q400. I'm gonna go flaps 5, gear down. Speed is coming down nicely. Flaps 10. Condition levels max. Flaps 15. And landing checklist. Gear down, 3 green. Flaps 15, set and checked. Condition levels max. Wings checked left and right. Cabin clear. Checklist complete. Clear to land. We'll do taxi light to symbolize clear to land, and we'll bring the ref speed back to about 140 for the initial part, and then it's just gonna bleed off until we're closer to the runway, and we'll bring it back to our ref speed. And it's very usual to add about 10 knots in the dash 8 to the ref speed. Stopping power isn't an issue on the runways you're usually flying a Q400. So it follows the path it intercepted by itself. There we can see the approach lights, so we have contact. Autopilot disengaged. Back into ground range, don't need to reverse, just let it roll out, not using any brakes. Brakes cost money. Braking a little bit in the end. 60 knots, control locks on. We just stop it here on the runway. Very good. Park brake set. So, as you can see, it flies very nicely. It just follows the path, both vertical and lateral, down to the runway. It's a very easy mode to fly, and let me just reset and we'll be right back with a command heading vectored RNP approach. So welcome back, and now we're gonna do the command heading. We are loading up VNAV path here first of all. So it's about 35 miles to go on a 2000 feet per minute descent. I've left the pumps lights on. That's not the focus of this video. So we're inbound to Gugut, same as last time. As we can see here, we have Gugut, Rana Benepmo. And today, let's say that ATC wants us out of the way for some other inbound aircraft, for example, or there's a search and rescue going on in the approach, or whatever reason they have. So let's say that they want us on a 190 heading from a present position. If we select nav, we have the heading option. We can go 190, enter. It's going to be a right turn and enter. It shows heading select, and we have LNAV heading select up here. The heading bug doesn't do anything now. We're going to keep it synced with whatever we do with command heading, just in case we need to degrade the level of automation we're using in the autopilot. Right now, the VNAV profile becomes a little bit useless, so we have to keep a track on our DME. I've tuned the VOR at the airport, so we have somewhat of an idea of how far out we are. So this airport is about sea level, 10 to 30 feet above, so we're gonna have to go down all the 12,000 feet we have climbed, and 12 times 3 is 36, so about 36 miles is a nice distance to start down. And we're gonna use vertical speed this time for the descent, and then we're gonna arm the VNAV as we are intercepting the final approach course, because that's the same as a glide path in this situation and this case of an approach. So let's just continue on a little bit, and then we'll pick up when we get a little bit closer to top of descent. So we're getting the top of descent alert, and that's based on the previously entered top of descent on the path we were on. And I'm gonna ignore that, but at the same time you might just get a direct at any moment. So we are gonna say that we are clear to 3,000 feet, altitude select. And we can start down slowly with vertical speed. Something like that. Keep the speed reasonable. For a briefing, we can quickly recap that we have the RNP Zulu 18 at Stavanger Airport. We are going to enter our minima 220. Mispro straight ahead, UFO holding 3,000 feet, MC 48, and that's all good. We're gonna do flap 15, condition of as max landing, speeds are set, and we're gonna target about 125 final approach speed. Approach checklist is approach briefing complete, VREF 113, target 125. And altimeter is 1013. Checklist is complete. Lights are on. Beautiful sunset here on the west coast. It's a little bit cloudy and hazy today. So let's pretend that ATC gives us a new heading now. Let's say just straight 170 looks good. So we can enter down here 170, that's going to be a left turn, enter. So we're getting closer and closer to what's going to be our intercept. I'm going to activate the approach now and watch the speed. As you can see, it said arm approach because we were outside of 30 miles. Now when it changed to inbound of 30 miles, I got the option to activate approach instead. As you can see, we also have an option for intercept. It says no intercept right now. We have also have the cancel approach, cancel heading. We're not going to use those right now. But with the activate approach, you can see also that Kogut disappeared. We can still go here and find it in the direct to list, but we're gonna stay on a heading now, and we're gonna increase our descent rate a bit, and say that we would now get a left turn. Almost, yeah, straight east is fine. Not 900, just 90, it's a left turn. And the aircraft turns. As you can see, we also have a glide path coming up based on the extended final approach course. So we can use that as a guideline, but it's gonna be a little bit wonky since we're off center. But as we get closer, it's more and more accurate. So just keep that in mind as well. We're gonna run almost perpendicular to the final approach course, and keeping the speed at about 220, 230 for now. And as you can see, once we got within 90 degrees of the final intercept, we can also select intercept on the FMS. We are gonna wait a little bit with that. We're now beneath the glide path, and we're just gonna continue closer in and vector ourselves a little bit nicer, but it should be able to do this intercept turn as well. It's nicer to do a little bit of a shallower angle when you're intercepting, same as when you're getting vectored for an ILS. You can also see on this model we have the banana. Not all Dash 8s are equipped with that. It's a software thing, but the newer updates came with this, so it gives us a very nice tool to estimate our descent rate and vertical speed. We have 21 miles left to go. Turn right heading 120. Enter, it's turning. Let's do 500 feet per minute right now. Let's just get the speed. It can just bleed off, and we can also say that we are cleared the approach on 2,000 feet. All should select, press intercept, and the modes are now showing heading intercept instead. So as we get closer, it will intercept the inbound course and the glide path, just as you would on an ILS. can see the final approach course indicator needle here is coming alive. Half scale deflection, it turns over to LNAV, turns to intercept. You can also see the VNAV is coming in, so remember to arm that. And we'll bring the heading back around. VNAV captured. So now we're back on a normal LNAV VNAV path. It's gonna go down a bit, and we have approach active. Altitude select off. Set the missed approach altitude 3,000 feet. Check the speed. We're gonna bring it back to 200 knots now. And start getting ready for configuration. So from this point onwards, it's the same as an automatically activated approach. So all we did was vector ourselves around in command heading. We can either arm the approach when you're outside of 30 miles or activate it when you're inside 30 miles. And once you're within 90 degrees of the intercept angle, you can also press intercept, and it will change over to LNAV when you are on the approach. We're about 6 miles out. See the ground, flap 5, gear down. A little bit late, but nothing the Dash 8 can't handle. And we have a message. Next VNAV, lag invalid, just usual nuisance message. Flaps 10, flaps 15, condition level is max, landing checklist. Gear down 3 green, flaps 15, set and checked almost. Wings checked left and right, cabin clear received, checklist complete. Heading bug is synced for straight ahead missed approach.
Terrain.
Okay. For some reason, the FlyJSim is very sensitive to terrain. We have approach lights, contact.
500.
Autopilot disengaged.
$100, $50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Bring props into disk. Let it just slow down by itself. Not using any brakes yet. But if you want to stop and turn left here or right here on the runway where you have to go to the terminal, you have to brake a little bit. But we're just gonna bring it to a stop here on the runway for now. Brakes set. So that's two types of RNP RNAV approaches. One's automatic, one is manually activated. As you can see, it's actually more button pressing to do a manual RNP approach compared to an ILS. And the easiest thing is to have an automatic RNP activation. That's just the plane flies itself, follows everything down. It's very relaxed, a very nice way to do it. It's fully possible to do the manual activation, just you have to keep your mind steady on what mode you're in, what pitch mode you're in, especially at the end. Remember to arm the VNAV again, so you capture the glide path. And I think there are some edge case, I don't know if it's bugs, but sensitivities or something in the Q400 manual intercept. I have had instances where the intercept doesn't do what I expected it to do. But yeah, now you know how it should be, so if you see anything you're unsure of, try to film it, log it, and post it on FlyJSim Discord, so Amy can look at it to see if it's a bug or just a user error. So that's it for today. We are gonna follow up and do a couple of other videos with different products, and I'll do more videos on the Q400 in the following months. I have some interesting things happening at home. The new room is finished, and I'm making myself a full simulator corner in that room with some new equipment coming in as well. So hopefully when everything's ready, it's going to be much easier for me to record videos as well. So hopefully something to look forward to. If you liked this video, I really appreciate a subscription and pressing the like button, so the algorithm maybe picks up something. And other than that, hope you have a nice day wherever you are, and see you next time.